State lawmakers are talking about the changes they might see when Democratic Governor-elect Tony Evers is sworn in.
And anyone working for Rock County might have to pay hundreds more for their health insurance next year.
And you might want to plan some extra time for your commute this morning. We'll check out how slick the roads are after an overnight snowfall.
This is News 3 This Morning.
Good morning and welcome to News 3 This Morning. You made it to Friday. It is 6 o'clock now on this November 9th. And did you just see that shot? I know the snow. I mean, it's a little early, but it's beautiful out there.
Yeah, it is really nice.
It really is. It's kind of snow globe-esque with these fat flakes falling down from the sky. There's not much wind right now either, which is always good news.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about wind later today, but right now we just have a little bit of light snow coming down across southern Wisconsin. It's still an alert day. You'll have to remember those winter driving skills this morning and allow some time to dust off the car. We've had about an inch here in the Madison area. Here's what it looks like. This is the News 3 parking lot. You can see the snow not really sticking to the paved areas, but definitely sticking to the grass. And those cars, those are the overnight producers. They're going to have some work to do.
You can tell who came in overnight and who came in this morning.
Yeah, exactly. You can tell by the amount of snow on the car what time we got to work this morning. But snow continues to fall early today. Here's a look at the Doppler track showing you that the snow is coming to an end right now for southwestern Wisconsin. The back edge of those snow bands working through Dane County as we speak. Now, if you're headed to Milwaukee today, they're looking at heavier snow totals. The snow will last till about lunchtime there. 2 to 3 inches is expected for Milwaukee. Here in Madison, again, around an inch. Not a lot of additional accumulation expected this morning. Temperatures will only top in the low 30s today, but with northwest winds increasing, they'll ought to be dropping back this afternoon. Here's a look at first alert traffic maps. There is an accident reported on the interstate. This is just south of Portage, not showing up on our maps just yet, but be aware that the left lane is blocked as you head towards Highway CV at just south of Portage this morning. We'll keep an eye on that. Otherwise, in the Madison area, no major delays to talk about right now. You're still going at posted speeds heading into the city.
So in that parking lot shot, you could see my kayak racks just sticking up a little bit over the snow.
They're so sad.
Time to hang them up, huh?
I think so.
The dream is dead.
You can put the snowboard in there.
That's true. That's true. I do have skis in the back of my car right now. We'll see how that goes.
All right.
Thank you, Annie.
You're welcome.
6:02 right now. We want to start the news this hour at the state capitol, where a Republican majority is preparing to work with Governor-elect Tony Evers. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos says that he was misinterpreted earlier this week when he told reporters he wants to limit Evers' executive powers before he is even sworn in. Now, Vos says while he does want to make sure the 3 branches of government are balanced, his top priority for a session scheduled for later this month will be ensuring Wisconsinites have coverage for pre-existing conditions. Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald says issues like education and dealing with the opioid epidemic could help the Republican-controlled legislature find some common ground with Evers. Senate Minority Leader Jennifer Schilling, meanwhile, describes Vos's threats to restrict Evers' authority as a temper tantrum.
You'll see that as we talk about some of these ideas, it's really just bringing people to the table and guaranteeing that both sides have an opportunity to make things happen, as opposed to allowing one branch of government, which is not what our original founding, founders ever thought about, is allowed to do.
To demonstrate civility and a genuine wanting to work together to find common ground issues, it starts with our own words. It starts with our own rhetoric. And so I want to be respectful working with this new administration as we move forward.
Senator Fitzgerald says during the so-called lame duck session, he wants legislators currently serving terms to address the voter ID law and the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, or WISC. Both are things Evers could try to eliminate once he takes office.
Speaking of things Evers could work to get rid of, teachers in Wisconsin are hoping Act 10 is repealed. That was the driving force behind massive protests at the Capitol back in 2011. Governor Walker put the law into place just months after he was elected, doing away with most collective bargaining rights in the state. Madison's teachers union says they will push for that law to be repealed. Now, during his campaign, Evers said he did plan to remove Act 10, but doubted a bill to do that would ever get to his desk. Rock County employees might be paying more for health care next year if the proposed budget is passed as is. The Janesville Gazette reports health care costs are expected to rise under the county's preliminary 2019 budget. The good news is the county administrator there says those predicted increases are only part of a temporary plan right now. Under the plan, annual insurance deductibles are expected to rise by $100 for individuals and $300 for families. Out-of-pocket maximums should jump by about $300 for both families and individuals. The county's administrator says the proposal is kind of a placeholder to bring in additional resources to the county before it considers a long-term health care solution next year.
Dismissal procedures should be back to normal today at a Northside Elementary School after Lakeview students and staff were put on lockdown yesterday afternoon. That happened while police were searching for a shooting suspect. Witnesses reported someone shooting at a car on Northport Drive just before 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. There were 3 people in the car at the time, but no one was hurt. Bullets did hit the trunk and some were lodged into the back seat. 2 persons of interest were arrested in this case. Meanwhile, in a letter to parents, Lakeview administrators said it would hold students who walk home until they receive the all clear from police. That call came in around 5 last night.
A Madison teacher is on leave this morning, pending an investigation into inappropriate language used in the classroom. The Hamilton Middle School teacher is accused of using a racial slur against one of her students. The 12-year-old says she and her classmates were messing around on Google Translator when the social studies teacher overheard them and asked, quote, "How would you feel if I called you the N-word?" The Madison School District says it's conducting an investigation into that incident.
6:06 right now, and unfortunately, it's the end of a summertime favorite here in Madison. The Dane County Farmers Market's outdoor season will wrap up tomorrow.
And this year, producers there saw everything. Record flooding, snow in October, and some summer heat. Christina Laurie joins us this morning to talk about how that affected sales this season. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, Leah and Danica. Producers say this year has been average for them financially, noting good sales, reasonable weather overall, and steady crowds for the first half of the season. In particular, market manager Sarah Elliott says vendor attendance hit its mark this year. An average of 150 vendors lined the square during the summer months. She says the magic of the market is that vendors don't have to tell her if they're coming or not, so shoppers never know exactly what they'll get. She's expecting lower turnout among vendors this weekend with forecasted highs only in the 30s. Anywhere from 50 to 75 vendors could be at tomorrow's final market. But as usual, those vendors are expecting their most devoted customers to come out one last time to stock up on some Wisconsin staples.
You wouldn't think cheese in Wisconsin would be anything special, but customers appreciate the specialty cheeses, and that's kind of what every cheesemaker here does, something a little bit different, and everybody has their niche, and it works out well for everybody.
Some good news, you can still get your farmers market fix after this weekend. Next Saturday, November 17th, the market moves inside to the Monona Terrace for the start of the holiday market season. More than 75 farmers, bakers, cheesemakers will be there selling food, in addition to wreaths, centerpieces, and other holiday-themed goods. That market runs every Saturday except for the one after Thanksgiving through December 22nd, which is the Saturday before Christmas. So it's a perfect opportunity to knock out some of your Christmas shopping.
Yeah, I will say, though, Christina, Hattie was talking about wind chills in the single digits tomorrow morning. Like, that is really cold.
It's going to be brutal, but if you bundle up, it's a nice way to send off those farmers who've helped us all season long.
Good way to look at it.
Absolutely. Plus, you made me really hungry this morning.
For that cheese.
Yes. Yep.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you so much, Christina.
All right, 6:08 your time now. The people who made Minions are now recreating a Dr. Seuss holiday classic. If the snow doesn't have you in the mood, we know Will has more than the tender sweetness of a seasick crocodile. He'll have a preview of Benedict Cumberbatch as the Grinch. That's coming up.
In Chris Reese's words this morning, black ice is a thing. That is a quote. Before we check in with him, we will see what Hattie has to say about this morning's flurries and when they'll wrap up. That's next on News 3 This Morning.
Good morning from the patio. Some light snow continuing to fall, but it really is letting up, especially over the last hour here on the west side of town. Snow is coating things, though. It's coating everything that's elevated this morning. You can see here I have a leaf in my hand, and there's about an inch of snow on that one particular leaf. Not a lot on the pavement right now. That snow melted as it landed, but still, we may see some slippery roads in the area. So today is an alert day for the potential for that slippery commute this morning. Additional accumulation, really nothing in southwestern Wisconsin. The snow has already ended there, maybe up to a half an inch here in Madison, but the snow is quickly winding down for us. Highest snow totals will be in the southeastern corner of the state, where some moderate to heavy bands of snow continue this morning. But you can see the back edge of the snow working its way through Dane County as we speak this morning. So just another couple of hours of snow for our viewing area. A wider view will show you some scattered flurries across the upper Midwest, so it's not out of the question to see some flurries this afternoon, but the accumulating snow will come to an end this morning. Here's a look from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville. You can see snow coating the grassy surfaces and a little bit of the road there as well. So take it easy this morning. You'll definitely want to plan a little extra time to get to your destination. Visibility has improved in Madison and all points to the west as the snow lets up, but visibility is still less than 2 miles across most of southeastern Wisconsin. So if your travel plans take you into Milwaukee this morning, it's going to be a little slow going for you. Temperatures are in the mid to upper 20s, so it's definitely cold enough for this snow to stick around right now. Future track will show you how quickly the snow really winds down for southern Wisconsin. Now, this particular forecast model is really aggressive with the clearing taking place later today. We're still going to see plenty of clouds, but a few breaks in the clouds will be possible. Also some flurries, though, possible right into the evening hours. Temperatures are going to cool down, though, behind this storm system. If it wasn't cold enough for you yet, we're going to see those temperatures drop even more. Strong northwesterly winds will kick in today into tonight. Those winds may be gusty during the overnight hours as well. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, here's a peek at those wind chills. They'll be in the single digits across southern Wisconsin. Our extended forecast, though, calls for temperatures to stay in the 30s with those cold conditions continuing right into next week. Overall, though, no major storm systems moving in this direction, so our forecast is actually pretty dry heading through the next 10 days. Now let's get a look at your first alert traffic this morning with Josh Tim. How are things looking on the road, Josh?
Yeah, there is a crash reported on the northbound side of the interstate near Portage just after the County Highway CS exit, blocking the left-hand lane. Give yourself a little extra time there. Otherwise, no problems here in Madison. On the Beltline, things are moving well in both directions. Other routes here in Dane County, not looking too bad either. Just some of the usual brake lights on the northbound side of Rona Road near the Beltline. Downtown Madison roads are looking good right now so far with no major delays. Other main routes heading into the city, they're moving along at the posted speeds with no major issues. For your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
All right. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Hattie. He's as cuddly as a cactus and as charming as an eel.
Don't talk about Will like that.
I know, isn't that terrible? And this weekend, he's out with a new movie.
Yeah, we're not talking about Will. We're, of course, talking about the Mean Mr. Grinch here with a preview is our film critic, Will Loper. Good morning.
Good morning. Well played, Danica. Well played.
I try. Every once in a while, blind squirrel finds a nut.
Oh, an Adam Schrager favorite right there.
Oh, man. Okay, so, anywho, they say not to touch the Grinch with a 39.5-foot pole, and lucky for me, I was exactly 42 feet away from the theater screen. As for the movie itself, here's hoping it doesn't stink, stank, or stunk. Take a look.
You're a mean one, mister.
Benedict Cumberbatch is the newest voice of Christmas's biggest hater, that old Grinchy green fuzzball.
If I'm gonna become Santa, then I need to get into character. It's go time. You're a monster. Your heart's an empty hole. Now we'll be riding in style.
The Grinch is rated PG.
Max, you know the rules. You sleep in your bed, and I sleep in. Max, did you teach him puppy eyes? Fine.
Okay, this was a topic of conversation in the newsroom this morning.
Oh,
Can
dear.
you replace Jim Carrey?
Or the original.
What? I
the
mean,
original.
is Jim Carrey's version really that much of a beloved classic at this point?
Yes! Oh my gosh, our producer
my
is screaming
goodness.
in our ear.
Oh dear! Oh my! I'm
Absolutely.
so sorry.
See, this is like a big
yeah, see, it was a
debate
conversation.
here. Yep.
Oh, well, I mean, this one is animated, so
Right.
I guess it kind of distances itself. Benedict.
And same folks that made the Minions, which
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah, which they put their little
good
touch
one.
on it. You got that giant yak there. I mean, there was another
Can't say no
trailer
to a
where
yak.
he's just sucking up whipped cream, so that brings something new to the table. I don't know. Yeah.
and reviews looking yay, nay.
They're mostly positive. I mean, they're
Okay.
saying a no-brainer for little kids. Bring
Nice.
them to this. It's
Okay.
easy, yeah.
Are you going to be looking at this one this weekend?
Oh, yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there.
Awesome.
Enjoy
so,
that.
Review on Monday?
I'll try and bring my niece. Yes, I will.
Nice, nice.
Yes.
Awesome. Well,
right.
thanks for joining us.
Thanks,
Have a good
guys.
weekend.
Happy holidays, I guess.
Yeah. Christmas is here.
It is here. Snow, Grinch. We've got everything. Christmas colors. There you have it.
We're set.
6:18 right now. Chris Reese says he saw multiple plows out salting roads on his way to work. He is ready to rock and roll with new boots, his snow tie, all of the layers. We will check in with him along the Beltline up next.
And you are looking live this morning at Tyrrell Basin. That's where they're adding to Mother Nature's base this morning. Machines have been cranking out flakes since 3 a.m. They plan to open later this month. We'll have a check of your chilly alert day forecast. That's when News 3 This Morning returns.
Good morning. I'm meteorologist Hattie McLean. It is an alert day today. We have our first accumulating snow of the season occurring right now. Take a look outside. A live look from the WISC-TV Skycam at the News 3 parking lot. You can sort of see the time of arrival by how much snow was on the cars. Those cars that have been here all night, pretty snow covered. If you parked your car outside, you're going to need to plan a little extra time to clear it off this morning as well. Temperatures are in the 20s this morning. 28 in Madison, 25 in the Dells, and 27 in Mineral Point. Wind chills down in the low 20s, but they drop back into the teens late today. So keep in mind, it is going to be turning colder. Your bus stop weather forecasts. Kids might be quite excited to see some snow on the playground today. The snow will be tapering off this morning, climbing to a high of just 32 though today, with dry conditions through the afternoon. Now let's send it over to Chris Reese, who is outside. The kids are probably excited about the snow. The drivers, I don't know.
That's right. We've been out here just about all morning long paying attention to the road conditions as the snow has been coming down. Here's how things look over on John Nolan Drive right by the Beltline right now. You'll notice the roads are clear. Traffic is moving along smoothly. That is good news. Any bikers who like to bike in the snow who are brave enough, the bike paths are also clear as well. We're standing next to one of those. Cars, however, that's a different story. You're going to need your car brush as you begin to brush off the cars. They've got about an inch to an inch and a half of snow on them. Same down on the ground right now. So we've been watching a lot of this. Now, initially, I was going to wait until maybe we got a heavier snowfall event to do this. But if there's anything I've learned from living in Kentucky, sometimes this is all you get. You got to make do with what you got. So it's snow angel time, and we are definitely going down in the snow, having a great old time. I know. It's Christmas morning for me, I'll tell you what.
Oh my gosh.
There we go. That
just
is
went for it.
my first snow angel of the year. Let's check it out. There we go. We will have more of those, I'm sure, as we get deeper snow. You can see the grass. There's not a lot of deep snow there, but nonetheless, it is the first snow of the season. We can have fun before we get to April, and we are tired of all of this snow. But do know, as you're headed out to work, at least take it easy, because those bridges and overpasses are capable of having black ice on them. Back to you guys.
We can honestly say we weren't expecting that, Chris. Nicely done.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. I'm so excited for the rest of the winter with Chris.
Oh my God, we'll see what happens. I'm ready.
All right, Chris Reese creating snow angels for us this morning. Thank you, Chris.
He's so excited about that much snow. My goodness, we are in for a time this winter. 6:24 right now. Calling all beer and cheese lovers, which includes the ladies here on the desk. There's an opportunity for you to get into a huge festival filled with all of Wisconsin's finest delicacies for free.
Sign us up. There's a call out for volunteers to help run the 10th annual Isthmus Beer and Cheese Festival in January. The premium tasting tickets, they're already sold out, but general admission tickets are available for $50. That includes unlimited samples and a signature Beer and Cheese Fest tasting glass. Now, event organizers are offering the chance to go for free if you sign up for a 2 or 3 hour volunteer shift. You can go over to isthmusbeercheese.com for all of that information.
Good stuff.
Danica's been there before. I haven't. I got to get over there.
It's a cool event.
Miss Wisconsin over here.
There you go.
All right, 6:25 your time now. Before the legislature moves in, current lawmakers are looking at a $100 million tax incentive package to keep Kimberly-Clark in the state.
And just when we thought the holiday season could save Sears, we're learning a Rock County store will be closed by early next year. The day's top stories are next on News 3 this morning. The last of the 3 Girl Scouts hit and killed on the side of a Wisconsin highway will be laid to rest today.
And vendors are hoping a few flurries and a lot of cold temperatures won't keep you from the final outdoor farmers market of the season.
This is News 3 This Morning.
Good morning and welcome to the final half hour of News 3 This Morning. It is 6:28 now on this Friday, November 9th, and I'm still giggling over Chris Reese's snow angel. He's having the time of his life out there, folks.
Yeah, it is only a little bit of snow by our standards, though, so don't get too excited. Hattie McLean's outside in the 28-degree weather. Hads, any snow angels for you today, or are you doing a pass on that?
No, not on the patio, because there's no snow sticking to the patio right now. We do have the snow sticking to all the branches and leaves, though. It's beautiful outside this morning. If you like snow, you're going to love what you see when you peek through the blinds this morning. The snow continues to fall here across southern Wisconsin, and it's an alert day for the area. Keep in mind, this is the first accumulating snow of the season, so just give yourself a little extra time to get to your destination. Again, the snow is not necessarily sticking to a lot of the roads, but there may be some slippery stretches, especially on the bridges and overpasses. Here's a look at Doppler track, though. The snow winding down for us here in south central Wisconsin pretty rapidly this morning. We still have a steady light snow on the west side of Madison, but the snow has pretty much come to an end for the southwestern corner of the state. Not the case for the eastern part of the state, though. If you are headed to Milwaukee, the snow will continue, and they're looking at 2 to 3 inches of snow accumulation there. So as you head out the door, about 1 inch to 1.5 inches here in Madison. That's what we have on the ground. Any additional accumulation is going to be pretty minor through the morning. Light snow will taper off, but temperatures will only top in the low 30s this afternoon. Strong northwest winds are going to kick in, and that's going to make it pretty blustery later today. Here's a look at your first alert traffic maps this morning. We have another accident to report now. This one on I-94 westbound as you head towards Madison. There's an accident right near County Highway N. The shoulder is blocked there. No delays showing up just yet, but as things get busier this morning, there could be some delays forming there. Some brake lights showing up on the belt line, but otherwise travel looking pretty good right now. No other accidents to report in the region, so you're still going at posted speeds heading into Madison. And that's your first alert traffic.
Almost all roads in the area reported slippery, so be careful out there, everyone. Thank you, Hattie. Services continue today for the Girl Scouts killed in a hit-and-run crash in northwestern Wisconsin. 9-year-old Jana Kelly was one of the 3 girls who died when 21-year-old Colton True allegedly crashed into them while they were picking up trash along a county highway. 32-year-old Sarah Schneider was also killed in that accident. A service will be held for Jana later this morning in Chippewa Falls. The funerals for Schneider and the 2 other girls who were killed were held earlier this week. True is accused of inhaling chemicals before the crash and faces multiple charges of vehicular homicide.
The Jefferson County Humane Society now has 5 new dogs and 5 new cats looking for a home after they were rescued when their former owner was evicted. The Humane Society says the woman kept dozens of animals in her previous home. A 1-week-old kitten was found dead, and an old, blind, deaf husky with a visible growth had to be euthanized on scene. 2 horses will stay on the property and be taken care of there because the shelter can't house large animals. But because the animals are her property, the woman was still able to bring 5 dogs and 8 guinea pigs with her. That is a tough fact to grapple with for assisting veterinarian Kelly Kustis. She says a law to require spaying and neutering pets might be able to make a difference in the future.
It looks like the Sears store in the Janesville Mall will close after this holiday shopping season. This after the Boston store there shut down earlier this year. Sears announced it will close another 40 Sears and Kmart locations across the country by February 3rd. That's in addition to the 142 stores it plans to shut down by the end of this year. It's unclear how many workers will be out of the job as a result of these closures next year. Now, Sears stores in Madison malls already closed over the summer. The company filed for bankruptcy last month.
Wisconsin lawmakers will be talking about a $100 million tax break designed to keep an Appleton area plant open when the Budget Committee meets next week. Kimberly-Clark wants to close its paper products plant up in Fox Crossing. That plant employs around 500 people. As of right now, there aren't enough Republican votes to pass that measure. Outdoor lovers are hoping Governor-elect Tony Evers will re-energize the DNR after years of cuts under Governor Walker. The governor has scaled back on environmental regulations, cut tens of millions from the agency's budget, and eliminated positions. Evers didn't really emphasize the environment or outdoor issues while he was campaigning, but some still hope he'll make major changes at the agency.
We have a couple of First Alert traffic notes for you this weekend. The first is for anyone driving in the downtown area. Starting at 7 a.m. Sunday, Madison Marathon participants will go from the Capitol through the UW Arboretum, then to the UW campus, Warner Park, and back to the Capitol. The final runners are expected across the finish line around 1:30 in the afternoon. During that time, drivers should expect a number of detours and delays in that area. Madison police will be at some of the major intersections directing traffic throughout the day. And then for anyone driving on the far west side of Madison near Verona, part of County Highway PD will also close tonight as part of the Highway M reconstruction project. A lot of work going on there. Crews are shutting down a stretch of PD west of Highway M from 7 o'clock tonight until 6 a.m. Monday. And then the closure will shift to the east side of Highway M. And that closure lasts through 6 o'clock next Friday morning.
6:34 your time now. It is a bittersweet weekend for the farmers who wake up every Saturday at the crack of dawn to sell their produce and treats around the Capitol Square here in Madison.
Tomorrow is the last day for the outdoor farmers market, and Christina Laurie is looking back on how this season went and looking ahead to next year's preparations. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, ladies. Luckily here in Wisconsin, you don't have to go without your farmers market fix for long. After tomorrow, the market moves indoors for the start of the holiday market season next Saturday. Market manager Sarah Elliott says this year's 31-week-long outdoor market season had about average vendor attendance on any given Saturday during the summer. 150 vendors line the square. Now, September was the month's busiest market. Elliott doesn't measure customer attendance, but vendors say they saw steady crowds despite record-setting flooding on the Isthmus and a cold start and end to the outdoor season. For some vendors, it's memories of that first market all the way back in April that are still fresh in their minds, but not necessarily for the best reasons.
The most challenging part was the very first market this year. It was extremely windy. Snow flurries. I think there were just a handful of vendors here and basically no customers.
But that one he wish he stayed home for, with tomorrow's forecasted highs only in the 30s. Between 50 and 70 vendors are expected for that final outdoor market. Now, producers say it's bittersweet to see this season end, but it's nice to have some time off to recuperate, catch up on work at home, and come back for next year's 46th season refreshed and ready to sell. Dates for the 2019 outdoor market are already set, so mark your calendars. April 13th. Invites have already been extended to 15 new vendors.
Be super cold tomorrow, but Danica and I were talking about how that fried cheese might be just convincing enough to get out there. Christina, I know you love the spicy cheesy bread, right?
I do. There's just so many things at the market, and it's a nice way to say thank you to any of the farmers that will show up in those temperatures.
You're right. All right, Christina Laurie reporting for us this morning. Thank you, Christina.
6:36 right now, and we still do not know why a Marine veteran went into a bar and killed 12 people in California. We will update you on that investigation in the morning sprint.
And if you're looking for ways to honor the men and women who have served our country this Veterans Day weekend, we'll tell you about a number of opportunities to do just that. That's when News 3 This Morning returns. Welcome back. We are taking a live look right now at an accident. It's
on the Beltline right now, right near Park Street. You can see the Alliant Energy Center sign right there.
Yep, we're going to keep an eye on this. The DOT has roads all across our area listed as slippery. Take it slow on your way into work today. We're going to have a look at your first alert traffic and some more accidents around the area that's coming up.
We're also monitoring a developing situation out in North Carolina. Just to let you know, there is an active shooter situation possibly at one of the high schools near Wilmington, North Carolina. We'll have an update on that coming up in the morning sprint. We do want to take a break, though, and just bring in some zen. Barry shared this My Morning picture on Facebook. This is a spider web in morning light. Just a really cool shot. Whenever you can find a full spider web like that, it is pretty cool.
And whenever you can find some sun and some green this week, we'll take that. Thanks so much for sharing, Barry. What does your morning look like? Take a picture and post it on our Facebook page or on Twitter and use that hashtag MyNews3Morning. Danica and I share our favorites right here on the program. Veterans Day is this Sunday, and people here in Wisconsin and across the country are taking time to honor those who served. At the nation's capital this weekend, there are special events to honor the almost 5 million American soldiers who served in World War I. This year marks the 100th anniversary of the armistice with Germany. This weekend, there's a service to honor soldiers at the National Cathedral, a nationwide bells of peace tolling, and a military and veterans salute at Pershing Park, about a block away from the White House. That's the site where a World War I memorial called A Soldier's Journey will be constructed soon. There currently isn't any World War I memorial in Washington, D.C.
After 3 years of hard work and determination, a World War I memorial will be dedicated this weekend in Sauk County as well. Over the Memorial Day weekend, we told you about artist Homer Dan. He sculpted a memorial out of clay honoring 200 soldiers who died on a ship heading to Europe that was sunk by a German torpedo. That clay sculpture was just bronzed at a foundry, in Illinois, and will be dedicated this weekend at Lower Oxnard Park in Baraboo. That dedication ceremony takes place tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Another event honoring World War I soldiers this weekend at the state capitol's Veterans Day program. They will honor the Centennial Armistice. This features the VFW 1318 Volunteer Band and the Sons of the American Revolution Honor Guard presenting the nation's flag. Badger Honor Flight veterans and volunteers who serve them will be there as well. That's in the Capitol Rotunda at 9:30 on Sunday. All right, Chris and Christina, they've been ready for the holidays for weeks now, and they finally have the snow to match their spirits. Hattie is talking about single-digit wind chills this weekend, though. Single-digit, guys. She's bundled up on her Hattie-O patio with your Alert Day forecast.
And first, it is November 9th. We want to say happy birthday to Tenley here and all the kiddos turning 3. Thanks for celebrating with us right here on News 3 this morning.
Good morning from the News 3 First Alert Weather Center. It is an alert day today. Our first accumulating snow of the season happening this morning. It will taper off, though, within the next couple of hours. Officially at the airport in Madison, 1 inch of snow. Right now, Milwaukee Airport has 2 inches. And again, heavier amounts are expected to the east, anywhere from a trace to 2 inches for most of our viewing area. But to get to the eastern part of Dane County into the rest of southeastern Wisconsin, 2 to 4 inches is more likely. So slightly higher amounts to the east. And here's a look at Doppler track this morning. The snow is winding down. The back edge of the snow now working its way through the Dells and into Dane County. The snow will continue to quickly pull off to the east. Things are already quieting down in southwestern Wisconsin. There are still a few flurries, though, lingering back to the west, so it's not out of the question to have some flurries through the afternoon, but the accumulating snow will end this morning. No airport delays here. Again, 2 inches of snow at the Milwaukee Airport. Things in Chicago looking pretty good right now. There are still delays in Atlanta, but again, I still checked. These are runway construction delays, not related to weather at this time. But there you can see elsewhere across the country, so far looking pretty good. It is going to be cold across the northern tier of the United States. Temperatures in the teens and 20s through the central plains. 84 in Jacksonville with potential for some showers and thunderstorms there. Pretty dry out to the west with sunshine and milder temperatures. You'll need the jacket today, though, here in the Midwest. Temperatures topping only in the 20s and 30s around us. In fact, here's a look at those current readings. We're down 1 degree here in Madison to 27. Take a look at those readings, though, to the north and west. Single digits this morning in the Dakotas and Montana. Here's a closer look at southern Wisconsin. At least everyone's still in the double-digit territory early today. 25 in the Dells, 27 in Juneau, 27 as well from Boscobel down to Monroe. Don't look for the temperatures to move much today. We have Future Track showing you how the snow clears out pretty quickly this morning. Future Track really tries to clear the clouds pretty quickly. I think it'll take a little bit longer than that. Even some flurries still possible through the afternoon. More significant clearing then taking place overnight tonight. Behind this storm system, strong northwesterly winds are going to kick in, and here's the Future Track wind speed at 11 p.m. tonight, sustained 10 to 20 miles an hour, gusting even higher at times. So if you are headed out the door early tomorrow morning, keep this in mind. It's still going to be quite breezy. Wind chills will be in the single digits. Our extended forecast then has temperatures that will stay with highs in the 30s. Pretty chilly conditions this weekend, especially tomorrow morning. We're back up to 37 on Sunday, but overall, a quiet weather pattern for us. No major storms moving in this direction, just cold temperatures. Take a look at this. This is Tinker, all ready for winter. What a cutie.
Oh.
Looks like a little stuffed animal.
I know he does.
How
He's ready.
cute. You'll need the sweater today.
At least he'll stand out in the snow.
That's true.
Very true. Thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
We are following a possible active shooter situation at a North Carolina high school. The latest is coming up next in the morning sprint.
Turn
6:52 time now for the morning sprint. Hattie is bringing blustery weather back today once the snow wraps up this morning.
And it's the final Dane County Farmers Market this weekend. Christina Laurie shares how the unusual weather impacted sales this year. But we start at the state capitol, where a Republican majority is preparing to work with Governor-elect Tony Evers. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos said he was misinterpreted earlier this week when he told reporters he wants to limit Evers' executive powers before he's even sworn in. During the so-called lame duck session later this month, Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald says he wants legislators currently serving terms to address the voter ID law and the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, or WISC. Both are things Evers could try to eliminate once he takes office.
With a former teacher and Democrat taking over as governor, Madison's teachers union is among those supporting a repeal of Act 10. Governor Walker put that law into place just months after he was elected, doing away with most collective bargaining rights here in the state. During his campaign, Evers said he did plan to remove Act 10, but doubted a bill to do that would ever get to his desk.
And it's an alert day for southern Wisconsin. Light snow on the ground this morning, and it continues for areas of Madison and points to the east. Already lighting up, though, in southwestern Wisconsin. Here's a look at total snow accumulations from this particular event. Up to 2 inches for most of the area, slightly higher amounts to the west. Right now, we have about an inch here in Madison. Temperatures are going to stay in the low 30s this afternoon. Northwesterly winds increasing as well, causing temperatures to drop back later on today.
Hattie, thank you so much. Just in this morning, police along the North Carolina coast are responding to an active shooter situation at a high school there. This is happening in Hampstead. That's about 20 miles north of Wilmington, North Carolina. Authorities on the scene say things are still active at Topsail High School. School buses are being diverted to a nearby grocery store. There are no reports of injuries right now, and CBS This Morning is going to have much more on this situation just after 7.
There is another vigil planned for tonight as investigators try to figure out why a 28-year-old Marine veteran opened fire at a bar in Thousand Oaks, California. Ian Long shot and killed 12 people Wednesday night before turning the gun on himself. Police say he might have been dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder after serving in Afghanistan. He reportedly took his own life when police arrived at that bar. The bar was packed with over 200 people at the time of the shooting for a college country music night.
The Trump administration will look into a federal order temporarily blocking construction of the controversial Keystone Pipeline. Now, a judge in Montana is ordering a more complete review of the potential environmental impact of that pipeline. The judge also says the White House violated environmental laws when it approved a construction permit for the more than 1,000 miles of pipeline. TransCanada already started moving equipment and was planning to start construction early next year.
A man is facing arson charges this morning for starting fires at Madison Metro's West Transfer Point overnight. Crews responded to a fire in one of the shelters there just after 1:30 this morning. While they put out that fire and checked nearby security cameras, another fire was found in a dumpster. Police arrested Leonard Washington on suspicion of arson a couple of hours later.
Madison police are looking for a person of interest in a rash of bank robberies across the city. There are currently 11 outstanding warrants for this man, Trevor Christian. 2 Associate Bank locations here in Madison were robbed earlier this week, but it's not clear if Christian is wanted for those crimes.
Services continue today for the Girl Scouts killed in a hit-and-run crash in northwestern Wisconsin. 9-year-old Jana Kelly was one of 3 girls who died when police say 21-year-old Colton True crashed into them while they were picking up trash along a county highway. 32-year-old Sarah Schneider was also killed. A service will be held for Jana later this morning in Chippewa Falls.
The FDA plans to limit sales of some flavored e-cigarettes and ban menthol cigarettes altogether in an attempt to prevent teens from using those products. The agency's commissioner says the use of products like the popular Juuls are at epidemic levels among American teenagers. The agency will present its official plan next week.
For one final Saturday, vendors and shoppers will pack the square for a chilly conclusion to the 45th annual outdoor Dane County Farmers Market season. This year's market ran for 31 weeks on the square, and on any given week, an average of 150 vendors were ready to sell. Producers we talked to say sales were about average this year, despite some strange weather, record rainfall, a weird wintry snow flash in October, and an extraordinarily windy first market. You can still get your market fix for the next few weeks, though. The holiday market starts up at the Monona Terrace next Saturday, running through December 22nd.
Thank you, Christina. And the Packers are back at Lambeau this weekend, taking on the Miami Dolphins. They'll be dealing with temperatures dipping down into the 20s Sunday afternoon. Kickoff is right around 3:30, right here on WISC-TV 3.
6:57 your time now. Let's turn it over to Josh Tim with a look at your first alert traffic. Good morning, Josh.
Yeah, snow falling in the area, making the road slick this morning. Just make sure you plan ahead and give yourself some extra time. The Beltline is already beginning to move slow westbound between Stoughton Road and Park Street. Eastbound Beltline, you're tapping the brakes between Todd Drive and Rimrock with a crash near Park Street. Right lane at I-94 westbound is blocked due to a crash just after the Highway N exit. Delays will be growing in that area, but other main routes heading into Madison are moving along at the posted speed so far with no major issues. Your first alert traffic, I'm Josh Tim.
Thank you, Josh.
And again, as Josh mentioned, snow continues to fall here in Madison and points to the east. Thought we'd check out the polar bear habitat.
Nice.
Probably pretty excited about this weather that we're experiencing today into the upcoming weekend. Can't see the polar bear right now, but here's a look at what's happening on the radar map. The snow will continue to wind down for southern Wisconsin. High temps, though, only in the low 30s.
Still dealing with some crashes in the area. Be careful out there as you head out.